big surprise move that happened today. Karnataka Congress chief DK Shivakumar's brother, DK Suresh, filed his nomination as an independent candidate from the Kanakpura Assembly Constituency, the same seat that DK Shivakumar is contesting from. Congress chief DK Shivakumar is Congress candidate from this seat. The development has happened just hours before the deadline for filing nomination for the upcoming assembly elections, and it is, by Congress's own admission, a precautionary measure. DK Suresh is Congress's MP from Bangalore Rural. According to Congress sources, Suresh has filed his papers as a backup plan in the event of Shivakumar's nomination getting rejected, as he has a number of cases pending against him. So what we are hearing from Congress sources is that although there are no convictions, they want to play safe. Suresh is Congress's lone MP in the state, and he had earlier dropped hints about his candidature, not revealing his constituency, which has been disclosed. Now it's going to be Kanakpura, the same seat that his brother is fielded from by the Congress party.
DK Shivakumarji is going to win this election by a thumping majority, and I can give you the numbers. The difference between DK Shivakumarji and the BJP, that whomsoever is there, it will be more than 1 lakh votes. So DK Shivakumarji is going to win this election, and this is a part of long-term strategy. Whenever we want to disclose this, we will share it with you all.
So that's the Congress version. Now, interestingly, ruling BJP has also decided to field a strong candidate from the same seat. Its senior minister and its prominent Vocaliga face, R. Ashoka, fielded from Kanakpura to take on DK Shivakumar. Ashoka is also contesting from Padmanabhanagar constituency, and it was earlier speculated that DK Suresh will be fielded against him from that constituency. However, things seems to have changed. Kanakpura is a constituency traditionally believed to be Congress stronghold. DK Shivakumar has tasted victory from this seat thrice. So net-net, Congress and BJP are set for a fierce poll battle, even as both parties braces for turmoil and defections. Joining me here on the program this evening is Dr Narayan Lakshma, Associate Editor of The Hindu. Dr. Lakshman, very good evening. Pleasure to have you with me here on the program today as we discuss the movements that are happening across parties. The one interesting development today that we are looking at is that the two brothers, the DKS brothers, both actually with the same initials, are being fielded from Kanakpura. The Congress party has made no bones about it. They say it is a precautionary step should there be any untoward verdict on DK Shivakumar. DK Suresh then will be their candidate.
Yeah, absolutely. Afida, thanks for having me. I think it is not surprising to see these last-minute, moves. Literally 11th hour before the filing of nomination deadline lapsed, and the Congress is definitely taking no chances because there's a lot at stake. Definitely, the polls have given the Congress party, good odds to win this election. Some opinion polls like C Voter that have been conducted so far. But having said that, the BJP is definitely going to put up a very serious fight for every seat. And like we said, in this case, the risk to Mr. Shivakumar's seat comes from uncertainty around whether his nomination will be accepted. These money laundering and tax evasion related cases have been hanging around his head even right back since 2017. And I think in view of that risk and uncertainty, they're taking no chances. And Mr. DK Suresh has been put in there. Like you said correctly earlier, it seemed like he would also be put into the post of Padmanabhanagar to challenge Mr. Ashoka of the BJP at that spot as well. So literally what we're seeing is the two major parties, of course, Janata Dal, JDS is also in the reckoning, but the two other parties, Congress and BJP, neck to neck and fighting for every single constituency.
That's what I was coming to. In fact, what does this tell you about how the contest is going to be? 224 seats for every seat. There is this kind of a permutation and combination being worked out by every party to ensure that they do not lose a chance anywhere at all. Is this a contest that is likely to go down to the wires, given the situation as of now? What is your take on it?
Well, look, there are two sides to the coin. One side relates to what we've just been talking about, which is the permutation combination, the caste calculations, which is a Vocaliga versus Lingayath stronghold, who has traditionally won many seats. Like you said, DK Shivakumar has won thrice. I believe Mr. Ashoka has also won Padmanabhanagar at least thrice. And so it is partly about those last minute calculations at the top. And I must add that right there, we've also seen the defections that have happened, whether Mr. Vishwanath or Mr. Jagdish Shettar moving from the BJP to the Congress and other such shifts. All of these are sort of at the superficial level. The bigger set of factors determining the outcome relate more to performance in government and what alternative the opposition can offer. So in terms of the BJP's own performance under Basavaraj Bommai, Chief Minister, opinion polls, again, like C voter suggests, that there is a fairly widespread lack of satisfaction with the performance. And that could lead to some churn that could be actually an upsetting factor for them, for the BJP. But at the same time, the Congress should be careful not to get bogged down in these caste calculations and instead focus, especially in the remaining short period to the May 10th polling, focus on articulating the campaign promises ever more, committing to implementing them, identifying where the gaps are in the incumbent regime's performance, and trying to bring civic amenities and so forth to the people in a very on-the-ground reality kind of way, which I think has been lacking so far. Like you said, there's a little bit of distraction almost in terms of the party, the political calculus of allocating seats.
Stakes are high in that sense, isn't it? I mean, when we look at the stakes for the parties, Karnataka is BJP's only grip in southern India. It's a gateway to the south in that sense for the BJP. For the Congress, this is the first big election this year ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. It's a revenue-rich state, a party that would like to capitalize, like you said, on whatever anti-incumbency that is there against the Bommai government. For the JDS, it's a fight for survival. In fact, what I'm told is a lot depends on how JDS will perform to decide the fate of Congress or the BJP.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the projection is that if the Congress ends up doing well, and as journalists, we shouldn't really look at the crystal ball so much, but opinion polls suggest that they could get between 115 to, even on the positive side, 127 seats. That's possible. And if the BJP ends up close to anywhere between 68 to 80 seats, the JDS ironically could find itself in the strong position of being a kingmaker. So while, like you correctly said, its own survival and prospects are definitely in jeopardy in some regards, politically speaking, it could end up being powerful just given the three-way contest that's happening here, the triangular contest. I think also important to take that one step back, like you said, and look at the national picture where in the south, it is only Karnataka that has offered the BJP a really strong foothold until now. If that is lost, it will be a little bit of an uphill climb, not only in the Lok Sabha election, but even in so many other state elections for the BJP to say, look, we still do have that pan-India appeal, and we are going to continue to win state after state into our, we're going to come to power in states. So I think this is a critical election that the whole country, in a sense, will be watching in terms of how the BJP performs.
And what about the quick last question to you? What about the faces of the parties? The man we are talking about today is DK Shivakumar, who has decided to rope in his brother for his Kanakpura seat. He is supposed to be the face for the Congress party. Is the BJP treading very cautiously in this regard? Because today the news that we are also tracking closely is whether there is a pressure to announce a Lingayat CM and somehow again maintain their grip on the community as their support base.
Yeah, it's always a difficult calculus, Prida, because I think, like you said, it's a bit of a tightrope between finding a caste, a representative of a caste, which is obviously important in Karnataka politics. It's always been about Vakaligas, Lingayats, to an extent, and some Brahmin chief ministers you've had. But at the same time, it also is about performance. So, Basavaraj Bommai, at the end of the day, is seen as, while he may continue to be the face of the party, and even a chief ministerial candidate should the party do well, he is associated with a lack of good performance in some regards, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of some welfare policies as well that impact the poor or rural voters. So I think it's a challenge for the BJP to balance those two reasons to project a certain person. Certainly the Congress is pushing hard on the Vakaliga front, like you said about Kanakpura, Ramnagara, and even in some parts of the Bangalore constituencies. So it's really going to be interesting to see what kind of caste calculus they make towards the end.
Right. Thanks very much for joining us here on the program. Mr. Narayan, pleasure to have you to help us understand the latest development.